to like read a fucking room. Like, y'all act like you don't understand shit because y'all be the first ones during a conversation about the Holocaust to get so mad when black people be like, you do realize that the original Jewish people were.
All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there pushing this truth with all diligence and sincerity, risking their freedoms and their lives to do so.
You all simply don't have it.
Right? Here go y'all cum goblins who don't.
Salaki, I'm gonna open up the title once more. The video is still going. Shalom, shalom to the nation of Israel and the hopeful elect. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who will, that taught us this truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect brothers out there preaching this truth with all diligence and sincerity. All right. You know, as you heard what the woman says, this is from a clip that the Elder Malcolm was sent into our group meet, where basically, you know, this new wave of so-called white hate is going around, and you know, you got these Edomite lovers, these Caucasian lovers, as they like to say, but not all of them even came from the Caucasus Mountains, but they are all Edomites, you know. That these Jakes and you know, you got a lot of Ammonites and Moabites, you know, so-called Asians that are fighting against it. The guy's name was Charlie Chan, I think, or something like that. And everybody knows, you know, it's a not so much of a secret that, you know, a lot of Asians really kiss up to the so-called white man because they want to be that way. So it's not a surprise that, you know, you would have this guy come on here, and everything that these women, you know, were saying was pretty much true. You know, although our women are not supremely in order and they just want to kind of talk, what they were saying is absolutely true. Is that, yeah, no, you can't really be racist against them, but far as like, yeah, you can say things that are derogatory, but far as the label of the word racist that's been misused, you know, because the word racist, it's really not that bad of a word. It really just means to prefer your own. But far as the discriminatory and derogatory terms and stigma that comes along with it, well, that was perpetuated by an oppressor. And at the end of the day, you know, it's only so much you can say against them. Just like with Rockefeller, all right, he was still the oppressor, although he was hated, but he bought the media so that he would look like a good guy and control that. So that is what white privilege allows you to do, controlling the narrative, along with their power and their money. No, the so-called, you know, you had another woman that was, she said, yeah, Charlie Chan was right. It was a so-called black woman, of course, saying that she used to be a leftist and she was with all this and all that, which, you know, the leftists, they don't understand scriptures, so they can't really break these things down. And a lot of the things they say that, and how they want to rule this world is oppressive as well, you know, with the alphabet community and feminism. But far as we're going into how E is doing things, well, he still is on top, all right? It's so much that he's even controlling the left. You know, he's still controlling that. He controls this narrative. So it really is no way that you can come against this man and speak hatred against him, because, yes, throughout history, it has shown you that the so-called white man is a violent, for self being, in which he's really not for even himself, as the scripture says, because he's not pro-life, he's anti-life. But I'm gonna get a few scriptures, you know, to support these claims, because the scriptures reveal all. But the first one I'm gonna get, since I brought that out, is gonna be this Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, out of the Apocrypha 14, verse 6, I'll say. I'll start at 5. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his own goods. Right? This is the type of person that defrauds his own people. All right? So much that it's not a coincidence that, you know, these so-called white people that you saw in the other video, I only had part of the clip, But when you go into the rest of the video, we had them saying that I hate being white. Why? Because they know that their people have done some cruel things, even to their own. All right. Like, let's even get on this list. The Epstein list, man. All right. Well, they hung Epstein out to dry, as well as murdered the man. You know, so these secrets will be kept in store, man. You know, that's what they do. They throw people under the bus when they don't need them anymore. All right. It says, there is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is a recompense of his wickedness. And that's a perfect boat that the Lord put this man in, you know, to always be slinging mud on each other. Because what is this? Really, although you see Jake faces, well, the left and the right, that's a policy of Esau. That's a policy of his system, his bird. All right, to have these two opposing sides going against one another, but they're a part of the same bird. And the scripture says that if Satan cast out Satan, how shall his kingdom stand? All right. If you got a bird that's supposed to be flying, but the wings are hitting the other wing, like, you know, the wing hitting the other wing, that bird's doomed to fail and fall, man. All right. And that's exactly what's going on in the society as we speak. All right. It says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. It says, and at the last he will declare his wickedness, which is what's about to come. Because Esau is going to say, F this entire system. You know what? I'm just going to take control. He's going to pull a Homelander. You need me. I don't really have to do the things that you say. At the bottom line, I control this. He's just going to take over, and he's going to be that true oppressor that you people been ignoring, man. All right? And this woman, she said something in this video saying that it's funny how they try to act like everybody else is so hateful, all right, has no remorse of dark times in the past, and they'll love to get mad about the Holocaust, but look at what you did. You know, and you got the so-called black woman and that Asian that overlooked that entire thing, because if they were really for truth, even if they would have said, well, yeah, that is bad, that what happened in the Holocaust, but you really can't get over every last thing that the so-called white man has done, all right? Because who did the Holocaust? He did, and it was set up. You know, the Holocaust, man. You know, if there were even deaths, it wasn't the mass majority that they like to consider, all right? So what if it wasn't as many deaths as they like to say that it was 6 million? It wasn't even 6 million Jews. It was still people that died. Well, if that were the case, which it was not, but let's say hypothetically people did die. What about all the different generations and races and tribes that were destroyed when the so-called white man came over to the Americas, man? Or when he conquered places of the East. They even showed you that in what was The Last Samurai, how the West was coming over there and bringing their way of life. And that is why you see so-called Japanese and Chinese men in suit and ties, talking, walking, and acting like the so-called white man, getting eye surgeries to look like the so-called white man. Yes, this is a systematic racism. The only thing is that, you know, you got certain people that don't want that way of life to change. Because first off, what the right is a false sense of conservative. You know, they have some of our ways, and some of the things they say might make sense, but a lot of it doesn't, because it's still oppressive. It's still for the rich. The left is also for the rich, but it's under this guise of being for the little man when it's not. It's just basically a way of making more productive slaves on the left-hand side. Whereas the right is, well, you're going to be my slave regardless. Like, it's straight to your face, you know? But it's the same system, man. All right? And she said that, hey, it's funny that they say this about us getting mad about the Jews, but hey, little do they know, well, they actually do know, that they're that the so-called black man was the original Jew, as well as the so-called Hispanics being a part of the tribes of Israel and the Native Americans, man. All right, they love to ignore those facts, because then they got to look at what all happened to them, and still continues to happen. So no matter what the Asian wanted to say or the black woman wanted to say about the situation, well, you can say that this is starting to happen to so-called white people, but it's still happening to Jake on a major scale. Yes, you do have parties of so-called white people and Edomites, so-called Caucasians, but the real name is Esau, Edom, according to the Bible. When they do get along, they talk about niggas. Excuse my language, man, but that's what they call you. They make black jokes. You still see these things on the internet. What about these college kids or certain high school groups that'll pose in blackface? This never gets talked about. So if you're gonna say one thing about, you want to come and defend Esau, you want to come and defend the so-called white man, well, look at everything else. That means you're only looking at one part of the picture. Well, why is he being treated that way? It's just like you'll have certain images where I think I seen one where it looked like somebody was helping someone up, but really it shows you the full image. They were really pushing them down. You have to look at the whole entire story before you start making your judgments. All right, but this is This is Proverbs chapter 26, verse 25. When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there even are 7 abominations in his heart. And this is talking about the so-called white man. He's full of deceit, whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Exactly. They'll love to you'll ask them a statement, but they'll overlook it. Just like she did. When she talked about this woman, with the funny looking teeth, the black woman was talking about her. I didn't get that part of the video, but she was like, the only thing she could say is, without directly mentioning anything that this woman says, because it's going to continue to push this Israelite movement thing, is that she just said that she doesn't know anything about history. No, we know plenty about history. We know plenty about Esau's history that he made up, and we know the original history. But the only thing you can do is defraud what she said and negate what she said by not addressing anything directly, but just saying overall everything she knows is a lie, and it's not true. You go into history, it will tell you that Christopher Columbus and the Inquisition of the Jews, I believe, in Spain and in Europe, it shows you that the Jews were called Moreno, all right, and so were the Moors, and they classified them all in one big group. The Christians, those that practice the Torah, and those that practice the Quran, which were all the same people. They all labeled them Moreno or Moor because they were all black. Even though Moor was originally a term that was given unto the so-called black Muslims over Europe at that time. Those that started to believe into that false religion. All right. But it says, his wickedness whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation is being exposed. All right. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm about to get this Habakkuk. Because you really can't get over this. This is the truth. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. It says, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And that's exactly what's happening. And you have Esau's lapdogs, if you will, coming to his aid. What's so funny is that it calls the heathens dogs. They licked the sores of Lazarus, who's supposed to be a representation of Israel. All right. And then you also have the pit bull nigger woman, man. Because you damn right she gonna say, well, the first thing she said was black friends, and it was a whole Asian woman talking. She didn't say nothing about Asians because she didn't want that slack to come back, and it would have came off wrong. But she said, how about how would you feel if a so-called white person said, well, how do you feel about me bringing my black friend around? Well, first off, know the company that you keep is an old saying. All right. If you're around people that don't like your own people, then you shouldn't hang around them. All right. And that would be for both parties. But it's some type of it's a spirit. This Lord is mingled in this world. These people just really operate foolishly because they just want their own narrative, which is essentially, like I said, it's Esau's narrative. He gives them their own little space in his world, man. and it makes sense to them. But it makes sense because they overlook all the truth and they consider all the bullshit, man. But this is verse 27. It says, "Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. He that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him." Exactly. So he'll love to use these words like that's reverse racism. Well, if it's reverse, that means you shot it at me first. Shit. For me to put it back on you, that means you put it out on me. All right. So that's the reason why these things get flipped around on you, because you're the one that's just behind closed doors doing all the bullshit. You wouldn't hear about nobody speaking ill of somebody that was doing good to them. People are speaking about things that you've done, things that you continue to do. It's not you didn't do anything or you might have made one mistake. No. You've done this. And now you have to own up to it. You can get mad like the bird and Angry Birds when you don't take responsibility for the things you've done, but that's not going to stop anything. It's going to make things worse for you. But this is verse 28. It says, "A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin." So of course you hate the truth that's coming out, because it's not supporting your narrative. And hey, some of those bug outs on the left, they're set up. With the violence and storming and because really it's all the same. Both sides are really violent and physical because they're carnal. All of you are carnal. Of course you're gonna get physical when you don't win. We see it all the time on the line, or used to anyway. Now we try our best not to engage, even if somebody's trying to engage with us. But that's happened to us before. Every time we're on the line, we didn't start those fights. All right. Someone came towards us. But now, it's much easier to just agree with thine adversary quickly and turn the other cheek, man. Let these people have it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to work in a way to, if they're wrong, the Lord's going to get them. This is Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. It says, I'm going to start at verse 20. It says, I'm going to start at verse 19. It says, "As righteousness tendeth to life, so he that pursueth evil pursueth it to his own death." And people are starting to see that this man is the harbinger of death, that he is the border of wickedness. All right? That his spirit is basically not for you in the end, because he's really not for himself. In the end, he's trying to make a way for himself that is self-destructive, and it's still not going to work. But it says in verse 20, it says, they that are forward heart are abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but such as are upright in their way are his delight. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. So, no matter who hops on the bandwagon to let's save the endangered species of the Edomites, you're not stopping nothing. You may stop these people out here, these Negroes and these Spigros. They want to take matters into their own hands, but it's so many ways that the Lord can do this, man. He's just going to do it one way that he said he was going to do. He's going to destroy this place called America, and he's going to take what's remaining of the Edomites on the other side of the world, and he's going to put them in chains and have them serve captivity and bring back the rest of their generations for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, that's going to be it for them. But if the Lord did want to do it in such a way, he could outbreed you. He could have everybody turn against you and physically harm you. But that's not the way he's going to do it, Because without breeding you, well, whether Esau wants to stop abortion or not, it still won't do anything for him. But the Lord's not going to let this man be completely destroyed until after 1,000 years of slavery. So, but the Lord is also showing you that this man is not, he's Esau. Esau meaning Ashah, to be wasted away, done away. Ashashwa. All right? And as well as, if he did want to do something physical to this man, well, hey, the other nations, they have weapons as well. But the Lord is going to do something great, a great wonder, which is with the nukes. That's how he's going to use these other nations. And he's going to use the chariots. All right? It's not going to be America's going to be invaded and conquered. America's going to be invaded and destroyed. There's going to be no more remaining in this land. All right? That's going to be the end of this place. And this is why. This is Amos 1:9. It says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Tyrus, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom, and remember not the brotherly covenant. But I will send a fire on the wall of Tyrus, which shall devour the palaces thereof. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually. He kept his wrath forever." Right, so much that we can't even speak about the things that this man's done. Oh, you're racist if you speak about this man killing your people and raping your women and your children. "I will send a fire upon Teman, and shall devour the palaces of Basra," which is the lands of Edom. One being America. And he's going to use Russia, and he's going to use Iran and the rest of the nations to do this, man. Get one more scripture, then I'm going to end it off. This is Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. It says, "Whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not." So, hey, man, that's the reason why the Lord is coming back. Because there's nobody to uphold justice here. All right? Anytime we say it, anytime justice is spoken of, then you got E and his lapdogs coming to take that away. Like, no, see, no, they get the most eloquent speakers that they can use. That's really sly, because when you heard that woman, she was really using a lot of sly words. The goop, not so much. He just overlooked a lot of truths that were being spoken of and saying, well, that's not right. Well, you wouldn't want that being done. Well, the thing is, this has been done to us. Of course we don't want it done to us. And it's been done. So why is this man doing something to us if he don't like it being done to him? It's because he has the power to do it, and he is evil. He is the evil of the earth. No, there will not be any more remaining of the house of Esau after 1,000 years, man. There won't be any blonde hair and blue eyes. Unless some nation has a curse on them to have that. But there won't be any more Edomites. This is their last kingdom. And serving us is going to be their last servitude. And they will be no more. So with that, I'm going to end this lesson off and give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh. Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakapadash, Shalom, and Abba Ball.